22 jobs, one at a time. This is Backlog Buster's Final Fantasy V Single Job Challenge series. The core rule is to only use the assigned job. I'll be forced to go jobless using Freelancer until the assigned job becomes available. As soon as the job unlocks, I'll switch out of Freelancer and be locked into that job for the rest of the game, for better or for worse. I'll be doing my best to see the majority of the optional content, but it's going to depend on the individual job for some of it. As an additional challenge, I'm going to try and beat the game at as low a level as possible, and to minimize grinding, though some grinding is likely inevitable. Other than that, there are no restrictions. All equipment, game mechanics, and strategies are available to beat the game and see the credits. Working through that lengthy list one by one, this time I'll be playing a water crystal job. I'll be playing either Mystic Knight or Time Mage, so I'm gonna need to freelance it until I unlock them. I'm gonna be pragmatic here and work my way down to the Waltz Tower, then chuck Garula back into the tar pit he crawled out of. Then I'll fork my save. That means if you're watching Mystic Knight only or Time Mage only and have seen the other video, or you just want to see where this single job challenge truly starts, you can go ahead and skip to this time code. With that out of the way, let's start the party. I'm counter-kidnapping Lena from those goblins, then I'm grabbing Galoof. Whoa, dude, I wonder what's with that necklace. Surely it has some significance. The pirate captain Ferris is in. As usual, jobless and freelancing, you kinda just need to grind a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and do a quick grind sesh to stock up on new gear and tool right now. And speaking of grinding, have you ever wanted to see what it's like to beat Demon Souls without any level grinding? Well then, my friend, you can check out the premium content on the Patreon and channel memberships right here on YouTube for the exclusive Demon Souls Soul Level 1 challenge. And since I know you're big into Final Fantasy V, you can also get a sneak peek at the upcoming Beastmaster run in a two-part behind-the-scenes series. Not to mention a couple of text guides I made for Thief Only and Chemist Only. Yeah, I've been a busy boy behind the scenes. With that shilling and grinding out of the way, I've got enough gil for the works. I know, Ferris. I won't forget about ya. Oh, right. I'm actually gonna need magic this run. I'll pick up the standard black magic spells too. You'll see. You'll all see. Now I'm just making a casual climb to the top of the Wind Shrine. Beefed up with broadswords, Wing Raptor's lunch. Oh yeah, really does taste like chicken. The Wind Crystal shatters. No, these are not the jobs that I'm looking for. Straight back to Tool, meeting up with Zoc, and getting that canal key. Really hope nothing goes wrong on this boat trip. Yeah, why would anything nice ever happen? Carla Bose's, well, Carla crushed as usual. Feelers paralyzes annoying, but it's tolerable with a full, healthy party. Bye-bye Crab Boss, and bye-bye Sildra, we hardly knew ya. The ship graveyard, well, that's just skeleton swashbuckling right up until, whoa, hang on, what? Ferris was a girl this whole time? Well, after that complete bombshell, it's an otherwise uneventful ghost ship shuffle featuring the Graveyard Smash, and I'm at the Siren, who tries to trick me, but Galoof's head is simply too caved in to remember who that large-headed girl was, so let's battle. Fighting Siren jobless, it's always the same. Smack her with swords in human form. Oh great, she instantly used haste, just beautiful. Too bad she whiffed the rest of her attacks. But now she's in undead form, so her defenses skyrocket. Throwing potions is now the ideal strategy. Siren swaps back to human form, which means I'm back to beating her to death. I've won. It's a casual cruise down to Carwyn where I'm grabbing the Ice Rod, of course. Then I'm upgrading all of my gear and restocking on items. Now I will simply head north by northwest to the North Mountain. Oh god, not the crop duster, not the crop duster! Despite all of my trials and tribulations, I'm here at the top, where Lena is poisoned. Yet again. One of these days she's gonna dodge that dart, I swear. Oh, it looks like Ferris is dead forever. Ah, just kidding. Let's wrestle, lady. Magisa gets a quick smack into Frostrod Smash. I'll be taking this whip, thank you. Ah, there's the Windrake. Lena, just stop getting poisoned, okay? I'm running out of material here. Jobless plus Windrake equals a trip to Tycoon Castle. If I can actually remember the way to get there. The Chancellor is completely shocked that Lena actually came back and wasn't done in by poison. And now he's forced to give up the Tycoon family heirlooms. The Healing Staff, followed by the mighty Ashura, and then the lowly Diamond Bell. So easily forgotten. Back on the Windrake to Waltz. Silver Specs yoinked and new gear acquired. I'm into the castle now and King Waltz, you gotta stop using the crystal. You see, this is what happens when you abuse the crystals. How dramatic anyways. The wall's tower climb isn't anything of note. Just gotta remember that Lena's got the heal staff, so I need to smack my own guys instead of the enemies. At the top of the wall's tower, the beastly, bulging Garula makes an appearance. Garula is a physical attacking monster, and he's magic beast type. Magisa's whip can paralyze him, and that negates his plethora of physicals encounters. This is just Bart's giving him the old... Also, Ferris and Galoof can slug him for free. Lena's holding back with the healing staff. This is just so she can beat off anyone who's damaged. I played this Garula fight a lot more conservatively than usual by putting everyone in the back row. Otherwise, a standard freelancing fight versus Garula. Abuse Magisa's whip, and Tycoon's treasures. Who's this mysterious red guy? I wonder what he's all about. Oh, he's dead. Wait, Lord Galoof? Whoa, he wasn't just some random homeless guy after all? After all that, I simply didn't make it in time. Which was secretly all part of my master plan. The water crystal shatters, I've submitted my application, and wouldn't you know it, I got the job. Here we are at number 12. The second half of the jobs are underway. This is the Mystic Knight. Some are calling this a sorcerer. The job overview? Well, Mystic Knight is a very simple job. You've got access to heavy armor and some light armors, daggers, swords, and shields. Always love a good shield. Mystic Knight's magic sword ability takes a turn of setup. You choose from your pool of magic and buff your sword. Then it remains buffed for the remainder of the battle. So if you choose fire, you're swinging fire elemental attacks for the rest of the battle. That is right up until you change it. At critical HP, Mystic Knights will also use Shell automatically. Not a super powerful ability, but I'm continually surprised by what ends up being useful in these challenges. Oh, look at that, I've made it out of Karnak Castle while explaining the overview, and I've even grinded a bunch of wild knacks for some gil. Now just to grab the full gear set and all of the new Tier 2 elemental magic from Karnak. I'm also picking up some white magic, specifically Silence, Sleep, and Confuse. I'm pretty sure these all count for Spell Sword. Okay, Confuse doesn't, oh well, but Sleep and Silence will no doubt be instrumental to beating some encounters. Surely. Straight into the fire ship now. I learned Magic Shell on the way to the bottom. Interesting, but Mystic Knights don't actually learn anything that I don't already have innately. Job levels simply don't matter this time around. Only my magic spells. Oh, look at that, I've reached the end of the fire ship. Queen Karnak, you just gotta say, back off! And those evil monsters will leave you alone. Oh, look at that, it actually worked. Wait, why are those flames moving towards me? Liquid Flame is weak to ice attacks, so I'm gonna beef myself up with Blazara Sword on everybody. Now it's really time to start the party. Almost 600 damage a hit? That's not too shabby. But then the hand form turns out to be immune to magic damage. All of my guys are using magic damage now. Quick, Sleep Sword, Barts! A couple of rounds of potions later and Liquid Flames swapped out to another form. Quick thinking there, Wesley. Bart's is now my dedicated hand form killer. Everyone else can smack it in every other form with Blazara. I'm the lowest level I've been in these challenges so far. All of those form swap counters really tore into me. I managed to barely scrape by in this fight, and I truly mean barely. If Bart's didn't kill it when he did, it was gonna be a total party kill. Mystic Knight is proving to be pretty strong. It's no rod smashing job, but I'm not anticipating much resistance here. Oh, look at that, it's Suze! Remember Suze, guys? It's been a while. Oh no, I've fallen. Hey, where'd the werewolf go? The fire crystals holding the castle together? Sure, whatever. The escape from Karnak's priorities are always the same. Mystic Knight can use the main gauche, and it works with Spellblade to boot. Always grab the gauche, every single time. I'm also, of course, picking up the elf cape. It's just the best accessory bar none, at this point in the game anyways. Mystic Knight using a turn of setup for Spell Sword for random battles while I'm under a pretty excessive time crunch? Nah, bruh. Not gonna happen. Standard sword swinging. Karnak Castle status looted. Let's skedaddle. Oh no. For this final battle, I'm buffing up with flame swords and trashing the dogs. Oh, and it looks like pre-Ironclaw imposter by the looks of it too. I just killed him before he could even consider transforming. I'm out of here. Karnak Castle really was held together with duct tape, and load-bearing hopes and dreams completely wiped off the map. Ooh, crystal shards. Not to spoil anything, but after Time Mage, these are the next jobs. Yeah, all 3 of them. But if you want a sneak peek of Beastmaster, check out the Patreon. But what's really important now is to head to the ancient library to get Sid out of his depressed slump. I need him sober for all of my mechanical work. You can call Sid and Mid-Jannies, because they're gonna do it for free. The book-based battles in the library are easily trashed by basic attacks. But of course, Fire Blade works in a pinch. Except on Ifrit, because he's fire-based. I'll use Blizzara Blade instead. God, I love strong magic counters. You love to see it. Mystic Knight is really barely scraping by, but scraping by is all I need. Ifrit is completely defeated using the power of spell-based blade buffs. That was the one enemy in the library not weak to fire. It's fire from now on, baby. Burn it to the ground. God bless the Sacred Circle for real. I have done no grinding. I'm completely broke and don't have any more Phoenix Downs. So let's go straight into that book-based boss Byblos. Instantly webbed. Dude, gross. What is this? Fire a blade on everybody. Let's go. Confused. That's a bit of a problem. Let a quick slugger. There's the immediate protect counter, of course. Time for some Mystic Knight math facts. Fire a blade should increase the damage against fire-weak enemies by 3 times. Protect halves physical damage incoming, so I should still be at like 1.5 times damage output. Which is still way better than other jobs have had and will have. Woof. Looking at you, thief. Byblos did opt to do a lot of magic hammer bonking and ignored most of his other more lethal attacks. I really only need MP on turn 1 for the buff, so great, take as much as you like. The mad lads did it. Byblos the book burned and Mid rescued. Now for that long walk back to Karnak to get Sid to fix up my fire ship for me. Dude, what? Galoof's like an alien? What? Galoof came to my planet on a rock-based UFO? Okay, it all checks out, it's real. After that bombshell, my fire ship's done. I'm headed southbound for the Jackal Detour. All of your new weapons and armor for me, please. Except I really am truly broke. I sold everything, including Lena and Ferris's Tycoon heirlooms. But it still wasn't enough. I had to do some grinding outside for a little bit. Now, I'm fully clad. Time to set sail for Fail and arrive at Crescent Island. Oh no, my fire ship is sunk. Who could have predicted this? This is only like the 12th time that this has happened. To the Chocobo Forest for some Choco napping. Black Chocobo acquired along with some Fire Crystal shards. Honestly, thank God I'm done with those. I don't think anything could possibly be as bad as Bard. Straight back to the ancient library now, also Sid and Mid can set up that thumper. Galoof's an alien, which makes him an off-worlder. Maybe he's the actual Lisan al-Gaib after all. A round of Blizzara buffs, and it's time to slap the Sandworm around. The defense bonus from being in the back row is annoying, as is the Sandworm not really having a true elemental weakness. Oh well, as soon as the shell game ends up in the front, it's over. All is dust. Sand walking my way to the Ronka Ruins where I partake in a little hide-and-seek with King Tycoon. I have grown so tired of this catapult section, and I will no longer be engaging with its silly back-and-forth chicanery. Except this time, all for the mini-spell. Can I even use it with Spellblade? No. No, I can't. That was a complete waste of time. You know what status effect they should really have brought back? The pig! One day I'm gonna be porking across Messidia. You'll see. You'll all see. Oh hey, it's the airship, and look, Sid and Mid are here too. Great. But who's this? Crayclaw? Sure hope that some Thundara swords don't come out and instantly obliterate it. I was already using Coral swords, which are Thunder element, but you know, Thunder plus Thunder is double Thunder, so that's obviously better, right? That's the airship unlocked for me. Let's just get back right to where we were and it's gone. Sid and Mid, help me. Oh, the adamantite, of course! How could I have been so foolish not to remember that? But first things first. I must truly be traumatized from Bard only. I'm gonna grind Nax at Karnak. For you see, I don't really care about levels. I merely want 200,000 gil for flame rings. Just like when I was playing Black Mage, if I have 4 times flame rings, I can put Fire Blade on my Mystic Knights and smack myself around to heal. Will I need to use this strategy? Hopefully not, but honestly, I kinda want to. With 200,000 gil burning a hole in my pocket, I'm making a stop to Istri Falls, and 4 flame rings later, I have arrived at Tycoon Meteor. The game's come full circle already. Adamantite yoinked, and uh-oh, a turtle-based enemy. Even buffing with Blizzara Blade, my damage is not great against Adamantoise. I brute forced this fight, only suffering minor casualties, but had I actually used Fire Sword and the Flame Rings, I may have saved Lena from her fate. With Flame Rings equipped, the Ronka Ruins Flame Cannons are totally free, not that they would have been an issue anyways. I've got Thunder-based swords and Thunder-based buffs available, and that means machines are gonna have a real bad time. Yeah, the rest of the side launchers are no problem at all. My damage output's great, and that's really all you can hope for. Time for the big, girthy soul cannon. I'm angel ringless and low level for once, so this may actually prove quite difficult. Time for some experimentation. Okay, without the buffs, the coral sword only damage output is kind of subpar on the back row. But what if we just went for the soul cannon itself? What a bad idea. The boys got wiped out, then the girls got turned into elderly people, and then promptly died. Let's use our job's abilities in an actual strategy this time around. Yeah, that sounds like a much better plan. Thundara sword on, but yeah, baby, straight for the soul cannon again. The outcome? My entire team was ulted and immediately wiped by the wave beam. Let's try again. Thundara swords, but this time I've got Pyroblade on Ferris, who will act as my healer. I'm gonna play this as intended for once. I'm beating off the back launchers, and then Ferris is beating off my team. But despite my best efforts, my entire team is ulted, and honestly, this is really, really bad for my damage output. For once in my life, I'm actually struggling to kill both of the side launchers. They're taking half damage because they're in the back row. And by the time they're dead, my levels have been crippled by ult. My damage output is tanked, and that means that I can't heal people fast enough to survive the inevitable wave beam. Turns out I lied about not needing levels. Grinding in a single job challenge? It's more likely than you think. Black flames, lend me your power once again. I grinded for enough gil for exactly 1 angel ring. That's going on someone, and I really do hope they eat the brunt of the ult, since this makes them immune. I'm taking back to the skies for some revenge. Thundara blades all around as usual. Instant double ulted. At least they're targeting exclusively Galoof and Lena, leaving Bartz and Ferris untouched. I will now choose to attack the Soul Cannon's life points directly. Having access to thunder damage really makes machine enemies beep boop boop in fear. Ignore the gimmicks of the fight, just kill the main boss. Finally, time for some progress in the wonky ronky ruins. There's a few equipment upgrades in here for me, including the absolutely legendary Ancient Sword. This can inflict old status on enemies. So did I go out of my way to grab it? Absolutely not. What a fool, what a fool. At the bottom of the Ronka Ruins, it's time for Archeo Avis, the true final boss of Bartz's world. Everything after this really is just a formality. I had to downgrade my weapons for this one. Archeo Avis's rotating magic resistance is going to make my Coral Sword's natural thunder element useless. The main gauche, along with mage mashes from Jack Hole, are simply my best option. Turns out you're always forced to use daggers in this game. God, I love it. Back to sub 50 damage a hit, you love to see it. I'm instantly resorting to having 2 Phyra Sworders just to stay alive. They'll smack my guys and heal them with the flame rings. Archeo Avis is spamming endless breath wings and they're taking their toll. The Tycoon sisters are busy trying to beat off my team while Bartz and Galoof lock in. This damage output is so bad, but you know what? I have equipment options. The Coral Swords and their elemental damage do work on the first form, but it's a little too late for this attempt. I'm dead. New strategy. 4 times Coral Swords to burn through that first phase. Lena and Ferris are back to flame smashing my own teammates. This time I actually burned through that first nightmare phase. Phase 2 was a lot less threatening. Frost is totally negated by the flame rings, so I only need to really worry about the physicals, which Lena and Ferris can deal with easily. Next? Oh, this is the fire phase. Well, that one's a freebie. Blaze will heal my guys, so that's no problem at all. But here we are at the thunder phase. Phyra Swords going on across the board. I can smack myself for heals, and it also damages Archeo Avis. That's a win-win. Archeo Avis dies, but revives itself. Now I have to figure out how to deal with this phase. Oh, God bless you, Sleep Blade. The boys are gonna captain the SS Snooze Cruiser and use it as a battering ram to crush Archeo Avis. All while the Tycoon sisters resume the searing self-smackdown to keep everyone alive. That's Archeo Avis defeated 5 separate times. Then, King Tycoon is defeated 2 separate times in this cutscene. Galoof's gotta get gone. The feds are onto him, just like the final episode of Alf. The Bartz's World Meteor Roundup begins. Like I said, these last 3 bosses are merely a formality. The Bomb Squad at Waltz, well, they're easily defeated by using a Silent Sword. Unlike the Mage Masher's Random Chance, Silent Sword from Spellblade triggers 100% of the time. I'm just working down the bombs in true meat grinder master fashion. The only arises they'll be having are in their dreams. Next up is Titan at Karnak. No real elemental weaknesses this time around, so I guess it's just slugging him as usual. I used one of my highly valued high potions. Once I get into Galoof's world, I've got endless high potions, so that's not a problem. Bartz did survive the final Earthshaker as a result of that high potion. The Tycoon sisters, however, did not. The final task, the Chimera Brain. Stealing my Brain Lord's brain structure, just like that goofball Hideo Kojima's laughably named podcast. Oh man, I couldn't contain myself during that announcement. That was like the funniest thing I ever heard. Anyways, fire a sword on Chimera Brain. The frost attacks are not scary with flame rings, and Aqua Breath is something I can just heal around with classic smacking myself. The brain structure is over. Both Chimera Brain and the podcast, apparently. And that's Bart's world finished. It's time to become aliens myself as I hurl myself into the vortex. But traveling took a lot out of me. It's time for a nap. Turns out that Galoof's world has their own version of the feds. Hang on, is Xstat's castle the equivalent of Area 51? Galoof's a great friend after all. He breaks in to bust me out. Giving Gilgamesh the old Giga Gash? Completely inconceivable. The whole gang's back together and we're making a break for it across that really big, long bridge. The lowly trash enemies are no match for basic attacks. Gilgamesh, however, is. He's got no elemental weakness, so I'm going with Sleep Sword and Fire Swords. Sleep Sword was really a mistake. Everyone just get Fire Sword on. I love getting hit with target all damage so much, it's unreal. Get to work smacking me around, ladies. Gilgamesh phase 2 and he's instantly casting Haste and Protect, and that makes this fight really obnoxious. Farming those flame rings was absolutely the right call. This would have been nightmarish otherwise. Searing self-slashes kept me alive long enough to slowly whittle Gilgamesh down. And I do mean slowly. But I got through, and I'm barrier blasted all the way to Glosenia, or whatever Gloof said. I couldn't read it, I was mashing text, it went by too fast. Anyways, I'm in Ragol, Border Town. I'm in the mood for some new gear, and oh, ho ho ho, new spells too. I almost forgot about those, it's been a while. Drain, Break, and Bio. Now this is Mystic Knighting. But of course I'm a bit short on cash. I did manage to hawk enough gear to get some Sleep Swords. Sleep on attack is cool for non-Mystic Knights, but I've got it on demand with Sleep Blade. The damage is better on the swords, and that's really all that I care about. Oh hey look, a Moogle! We should help it. Down into the underwater caves, and it's time for my favorite part of Mystic Knight. Drain Blade. One buff, and now every attack sucks health back. We suck Maxon and Vampire Pilled, baby. This works all the way to the end of these underwater caves. I saw the wet rocks, and now a zombie T-Rex tries to eat my Moogle friend. Why would he try to do that? He doesn't even have a digestive system. Is he stupid? I will choose to perform an exorcism. Return to bones with this phoenix down. Just kidding. Past West decided to be a fool instead. Surely Breakblade will work for an instant kill. Haha. Well, Breakblade didn't work. I guess it's time for Fire Sword. Alright, Fire Sword's doing pretty okay. Right up until Bartz got blasted by blue magic and died. The rest of the party Firebladed to victory. Should have just thrown a Phoenix down as usual. Oh look, it's Lena's character trait number 2 in full force. Liking animals. Number 1 is being poisoned, of course. Desert dodged also I can do a little bit of Moogle mingling. Moogle chest collected followed by a special covert operation for a second elf cape. Kryle's resumed her cab service once again and she picks me up and drops me off at Galoof's home of Ball. Decrepit drakes are in distress. Drakenvale detour date is set. Straight out of Ball, straight into Kelb. God, I love those werewolf guys so much it's unreal. This is truly me and the boys when we leave an evil warlock on someone else's planet to be their problem. But I can forgive that because Kelb's werewolf boys are constantly strength maxing. I'll take the full suite of strength boosters. Oh, come on, no helmets or rings? Whatever, I'll take the armor. 3 strength is good enough. In Drakenvale, I'd be spamming Drain Blade, but its effect is actually reversed on undead. When you drain an undead enemy, it heals them and damages you. Fire Sword is still my classic go-to with these flame rings on. The Dragon Grass was carnivorous this whole time? The Dragon Pod is susceptible to instant death, and it should be vulnerable to break, too. Break Blade, show me your power, right after I clear out those Dragon Flowers. Alright, time to shine Break Blade. Hang on, that's not an instant kill? Oh, come on, they must have changed this in the Pixel Remaster. I swear this was an instant kill in the other versions of the game. Swapping back to old faithful Fire Blade. Mowing down the flowers and then taking hits off of the Dragon Pod. My victory is simply inevitable. Ferris ended up being the patsy, but that's fine by me, she can eat every single status effect. Oh, come on, not like this. Paralyzed Powder, Silver Powder for old, I'm never getting out of here, am I? You know, at least when I get hit with Confuse, I have Fire Blade on, so I'm just healing myself, but my damage is dwindling because of old. Then, I petrified my own team because I forgot to swap back from Break Blade. Dude, nice. This fight was supposed to be an auto win, but I'll just do it again until I'm victorious. Victory is inevitable. I'll slap on Drain Sword, my favorite ability in the game, and crush this fight easily. I was actually so angry at that loss that I opted to slam dance around with the Dancing Dagger. Old is actually really hard to see on Mystic Knight Bartz, by the way. Definitely a flaw in the design. Anyways, Bartz pulled through with a sword dance to finally kill the Dragon Pod, right before my team ate every status effect on offer. Oh no, it's happening again, isn't it? Nope, Bartz pulled through. He took out the final flowers on his own, and I'm out of here. That was a lot of work for a fight that should have been a break blade bonanza, but here we are. I've got the grass. I can hear Lena getting hungry. Okay, Lena, maybe if the Drake is nice, he'll share some with you. And he did, and Lena got poisoned. I think this was her plan all along. With the Windrake back flying, I gotta visit the turtle, but first, it's a detour to Zaza's house, Surgate Castle. This is all for the greatest swords in Gloof's world, the Greatsword, of course. Hey, 6 damage is 6 damage. Sage Guido's island has descended into Sage Guido's cave. Underwater cave diving it is at a later date. Finally, I can meet Zaza of the Dawn Warriors. Guy was in hiding this whole time. Gilgamesh may not have an exploitable elemental weakness, but he's got HP, and that's something that I can suck right out of him. Vampire mode engaged. Here comes Enkidu. Oh no, he's got vampire too? Not like this, bros. We'll just be caught in an endless loop of sucking our HP back and forth forever. Right up until Lena eats it. Poor girl just really can't catch a break. I've sucked the life out of Enkidu. Now it's time for auto battle to get me the heck out of here. Ah, sweet submarine, Zaza. What's that? The hull's made out of carbon fiber? Are you sure you shouldn't be using the standardized titanium? What's that rumbling sound? Inside the barrier tower, I'm thinking that I'm rushing straight for this chest in particular. Okay, Drain not working on red dragons. That means they must be undead. You learn something new every day, don't ya? Anyways, Blazara Blade, go! Ah, the Drain Sword. Easily my favorite weapon in Final Fantasy V. Too bad that I actually can't equip it as a Mystic Knight. That's right, Mystic Knights cannot equip Knight Swords. It'll be slim pickings for weapons moving forward. I do want a single wall ring. I'm headed to the top of the barrier tower for that sacred circle. Then I'm planting my rear until I get at least 1 reflect ring. I probably don't actually need a reflect ring with my Vampire Knight strategies, but I'm committing. Half an hour later and I've got some amount of wall rings, or not. I actually don't know. I'm not gonna sit here and stare at every single reward screen, okay? Leave me alone. At the top of the barrier tower, it's time to blow this taco stand. Atmos, get out here. Interdimensional feast machine Atmos is just a big sleepy guy. Sleep blade on across the board and I'm immediately slowed. Dude, nice. I'm gonna spam Phoenix Downs to keep my party up to maximize damage output. A fruitless exercise since Gloof and Ferris get the double slurp. Just gotta finish the fight. All I need is 1 guy alive. That's it, just 1 guy. Atmos not generally a hard boss, but yeah, always surprising what jobs have trouble with. Round 2 and let's try his weakness, Bio. Not much better, honestly. Okay, let's resort to the Knight strategy. I'm reverting to my older sleep swords with Drain Blade on. Evidently, the sleep from Sleep Blade doesn't actually work, but the sleep from Sleep Sword Sleep works while draining health. Sleep. The word has lost all meaning. This is obviously going a lot better this time around. The Sleep Blade's sleep proc is preventing pulling Ferris into the maw. Despite being slowed again, I'm done with this fight. There's no way Zaza survived? Well, like, what if he did, though? The submarine's mine now. Hey, what's that cracking sound? Just kidding. While the structural integrity of carbon fiber does weaken over time, that just means I've got a few more trips before this submarine experiences a catastrophic implosion. Sage Guido, your cave sucks, and you should feel bad about it. Now I'm headed to Mora in one last submarine trip. Mora, as usual, has the tier 3 spells. Obviously, these are stronger than tier 2 spells, but they also have a special, unique property. When you hit an enemy with their elemental weakness using tier 3 spell blade, it'll just instantly kill them. Provided they're not like a boss with a heavy flag, but it's good to know as a fun little nuance, but not super useful in most applications. Drain maxing is still my preferred simple strategy for brainlets such as myself. That's just my life in gaming. I'm constantly finding one thing that works and spamming the ever-living hell out of it. Truly the Occam's razor approach. Oh no, the forest has been ignited while I was yapping. Off to grab the legendary Aegis shield. I've only got a few more chances to use it after all, so you know that I'm abusing it right now. With the flames subsided, the Flame Tongue Night Sword is here. A real shame I can't use Night Swords, isn't it? Onwards to the crystals, who are once again susceptible to instant death. Surely Breakblade will work this time, surely. Why would it work? Oh well, 600 damage could be a lot worse, honestly. I'll take out the water crystal first. But of course, how silly of me. Why bother using elemental swords and attempting status effects? All I need is the sucking power of Drain. Since I have flame rings on, I'm just gonna suck the fire crystal down to critical health. Now, his fire agas will heal me. Then I'll suck the life out of the earth crystal, then I'll suck the life out of the wind crystal, and then the fire crystal finally. Local Mystic Knights just cannot stop sucking. Uh-oh, Galoof's entered a vampire rage. He's gonna suck Exdeath to death. Except this is a scripted fight where Galoof can't die, so I put Fire Sword on instead. Exdeath dies, Galoof dies, and big-headed alien Kryl get in here. And speaking of aliens, I'm flying back to Exdeath's castle, Galoof's world's Area 51. See, you make a joke and it cycles back. I need a blood sacrifice to get in. Kelgar, old buddy, old pal, you mind keeling over? Just like that, the secrets of Area 51 are revealed. Immediately inside, there's an ice shield for my troubles. Thank you, Exdeath, for supplying my party with some new gear. Except that's kinda it. The ice brand, can't use it, it's a night sword. And there's no other weapons or daggers for the mysterious Mystic Knights. Technically, there's the Excalibur. You know I'm gonna face off against Gilgamesh anyways. The entire Vampire the Masquerade extended universe begins. Anyways, Gilgamesh gets sucked off by me, and then Exdeath sucks him into the void. Now for Exdeath himself. Hey, you can't just kill every alien that you see, Exdeath. Everybody, put your drain sword on. The suckening begins. Who needs a strategy? Just get in there and heal yourself while attacking. You'll love to see it. Fine, I'll swap everyone back to the front row. At this point in the game, this damage output is kind of low, but I really don't care since I'm getting basically high potion equivalent healing every single turn. Oh, look at that! Hurricane placed into magic shell range. Then Bartz gets magic shell too? Sick. And they're immediately dispelled. Great. Another reverse polarity? Cool story, bro. Just let me auto-attack you to death, please. My strategy of utilizing the suck is working like a charm. Mystic Knight's natural defenses and shields are keeping me nice and healthy. The final phase is here. Double attacks and tier 3 magic. Ice is a whiff and fire's a heal because of those flame rings, always worth getting them. Thunder's the only spell that I actually have to worry about. And Vacuum Wave. Vacuum Waves are still super scary, but my sucking power is truly superior. Call me Dyson because I'm sucking everything up. I've won, and I've successfully avenged my alien friend and made it back home. Back in Tycoon Castle, there's a classic Boobarts moment followed by a big head bonk. I'm picking up Boko to head on down to face off against the Antlion. My master strategy remains the same. I'm slurping that ant dry. All of his fluids belong to me now. I turned myself into a Splinter Bartz! I'm Splinter Exdeath! Then I got stuck getting lectured by a turtle. 12 legendary weapons, huh? Yeah, you know, for this playthrough it may as well be one single legendary weapon. Speaking of legendary weapons, I can't use the Brave Blade, but the Chicken Knife is on the table. This is at 23 attack power right now, and I could very well power it up right here and now, but I don't want to. Plenty of time for that in other challenge runs. I've got a mission and it's exploring the Pyramid of Moor. For the gargoyles, I'm putting Breakblade on, and finally it actually worked as intended. A quick double petrify and it's all over. Always love a free kill on those tricky gargoyles. Whoa, 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 hold the heckin' phone there, Chief. You're telling me I actually went and grabbed the other Flame Shield and Ice Shield in the Pyramid of Moor? That's wild, dude. I never do that. The Pharaoh's Curse. Instantly killed with Firaga Blade. That's the true power of Spell Sword in action right there. That's everything that I need in the pyramid. Just gotta race to the top. I made it out. God, I hate sand. It's coarse, rough, irritating, and it gets everywhere. Better not track any sand into my airship. Just gotta saunter on back there now. Oh hey, it's Lena. Wait, didn't you get sucked into a tear through time and space? No? Okay. Oh no, not an evil, sexy monster lady. Meluzoon's rotating magic barrier would be a problem if I didn't have access to Firaga Spellblade. Fire 3's on and I'm going to town. It's all you can eat, baby. Meluzoon's defeated before she could even consider a barrier change. Then, after a series of incredibly obnoxious cutscenes, I'm finally free to explore the merged world. Listen, these cutscenes are fine like once or twice, but 12 times? I'm over it. Straight into the sealed castle of Kuza to drop off that tablet. The legendary weapons are mine. I'll start with the Assassin's Dagger, the only one that I can actually use. Well, I guess I'll grab the Excalibur that I'm not allowed to use, and the Sasuke's Katana. Those were just the closest ones to the Assassin's Dagger. The Monsters of the Void are released, and we're never coming back to Kuza again. The Assassin Dagger is a very substantial weapon upgrade, but I can also get another upgrade immediately for free. Down into the secret Phantom Village and I'm snagging that thief knife from the pub. Now I'm freeing the Black Chocobo and heading back into Phantom immediately. I'm hawking all of the treasures from the past few hours and I've got just enough to not be able to afford everything that I want. Great. Alright, let's start with 4 black costumes and 2 pairs of Hermes sandals, the best accessory in the game. Gotta love perma haste. Now I'm just heading straight into the Island Shrine. Breakblade once again makes short work of the gargoyles. Love to see it finally working. The Island Shrine is a very uneventful dungeon. The left switch is on and then I'm racing to the bottom. Oh no, not the Wendigo. Drain Sword's on and let's begin the sucktacular shell game. All you have to do is work through this systematically. Drain Sword is more than enough to keep me sustained, and the fight's completely free. Only dealing like 400 damage a hit is pretty awful, but you can't beat the self-sustain. Wendigo's dusted, and after snagging that useless tablet number 2, the Fork Tower's opened up. If you recall all the way back at the Bomb Squad, Silence Blade has a 100% silence rate, and that's all I needed to hear. Straight up the Fork Tower. Bartz and Kryl up the right tower, and the Tycoon Sisters are always together up the left tower. The only noteworthy part of this dungeon is that, God, do I wish I could use a defender. I'm desperate for new weapons for these Mystic Knights. I'm still running greatswords from Zaza's castle. Minotaur goes about how you'd expect. Spellblade, Drain. Wait, I can't use Spellblade? Okay, fine then. I'm smashing swords and spamming high potions. There have been easier Minotaur fights before, but this was relatively painless. Now for everyone's favorite, Omniscient. Usually a big problem for meleeers, but I'm not strictly a meleeer this time. I'm thrown on Silence Blade. Now the spamming attack begins. I smack him, he gets silenced, he tries to counter with return, it fails. Wash, rinse, repeat until he's dead. Omniscient is basically totally locked down. He did get a handful of spells off in between my silences, but nothing scary. That's good enough for me. No 16-hour time tax, you love to see that one. And no red stamp either. I've got 2 new toys to play with. Flare Sword and Holy Sword are mine. Holy Sword is basically like all of the other elemental swords, it's just Holy Elemental. Flare Sword is interesting because it's non-elemental damage with an armor-ignoring component. Pretty snazzy. It's high time I forced Mid and Sid into more manual labor. They've been lazy as I was traipsing around in Galoof's world. Upgrade my airship into a submarine using Zaza's plans. Yeah, make it out of carbon fiber. I don't care if it's substandard, you gotta do it. Let's get some submarine and non-combat tasks done now. I'm ripping to the bottom of the Sunken Walls Tower and waiting for Gogo to just give up. Bored to tears, he banishes himself to the Shadow Realm. Mime acquired very late into the game. That's a story for another time though. Back to the surface and I'm looking for Boko. Oh, there he is. Spell Sword's strong, but I could always use some assistance from the Genie of the Lamp. Snagged it from the Cave of Wonders, I mean Istory Falls. Speaking of Istory Falls, there's work to be done. One more set of gargoyles shattered with Breakblade, and I'm in. Istory has a new sword for me, the Enhancer. It's hidden in a very secret chest deep in Istory Falls. If you're hard stuck with daggers and regular swords, it really is slim pickings. I would never choose to use the Enhancer, but I'm not going to complain about any weapon upgrades. I also made very sure to snag the second Aegis shield on the way down to the 4th tablet, which I'm picking up 3rd. Oh no, it's the red guy. Oh hey Leviathan, nice of you to show up. Thundaga Blade's going to do insane damage. The question is, without coral rings, can I defeat him before he kills me with tidal waves? The answer was no. I'm out of here for now. Black Chocobo, take me to the North Desert. I picked up exactly 1 Reflect Ring in Istory, and that's all I need to best the Dragon King. Bone Mail with a single Reflect Ring. I'm basically invincible. Flare Sword is proving to be very strong. I work Bahamut down, and then Lena reflects the Mega Flare, and then the follow-up Mega Flare immediately after. Then she finishes off Bahamut as the lone survivor. Reflect Rings are pretty good in this game, that's for sure. One more piece of frivolous optional content down. What's next on the agenda? Well, the Phoenix Tower's right here. I'm gonna try and snag some Hermes sandals on the way to the top. That was a bust. I'm getting the last 2 pairs of Hermes sandals the old-fashioned way. Grinding in the desert for cash and buying them in Phantom Village. I'm also going to get the final spells for Spellblade for the complete set. These are purchasable right here in Phantom Village. Osmos and Death. Osmos Blade has absolutely no usage because I barely use MP, and well, Death Sword would be good, but it's incredibly specific and very late in the game. With my speed enhanced on Hermes Sandals, I may as well do a timed boss fight. I'm heading through Jackal Cave to end up behind Castle Ball. Here's Odin, let's go. Flare Sword's on, and I'm spamming attacks and praying for the best. 2,000 damage a hit even with my weakest sword is some good damage numbers. I finished Odin with time to spare. Back out of Ball and I'm heading down to the trench for the 3rd tablet. The final set of gargoyles are petrified, then shattered. I'm in. Everything in the undersea trench is undead, so Holy Spellblade will kill everything instantly. Oh no, it's 3 gremlin babies in a trench coat pretending to be a real adult. When I said everything down here was undead, I meant it. Holy Sword, get in here. Okay, it doesn't instantly kill and that damage has been deemed. It sucks. Magic Lamp, I choose you. Bahamut, go. The rest of you prep Breakblade. Let's just see. If it doesn't work, these 3 are getting known to death from the lamp. Oh yeah, Breakblade coming in clutch once again. Always gonna try to use my job abilities when I can. The final tablet and the last of the optional content is done. I'm recharging the lamp on my way out, and that's every dungeon delved. Mystic Knight really is surprising me, but I'm still far too low level to take on the Rift. I'm gonna grind in the North Desert for a bit. Tuned up, I'm stocking up on items and tackling the final dungeon. The first two areas are unremarkable as usual, but the forest has some goodies just for me. Most notable is a second enhancer. Finally, Lena's greatsword gets an upgrade. That took a really long time, but everyone's got something. That upgrade's also just in time for Califisteri down here by that weird two-holed tree. Califisteri has a lot of defense, so Flare Sword, get in here. Reflect this, you big blue woman. Drain counters are slowly wearing me down. Nothing could wear me down faster than Bart's Assassin Dagger proc getting an instant death reflected onto himself. Yeah, you could just sit this one out there, buddy. Flare Sword's penetrating power was all I needed to take out Califisteri. Easy game, easy life. Next on the chopping block is the book-based boss, a panda. Book-based boss? You think Firaga is the right choice here? Oh boy, 4 rounds of Firaga sword attacks and he's completely donezo. Next, please. Which is, of course, Azulmagia in the castle. Azulmagia actually has very high magic and physical defense, so this sounds like a job for Flare Sword. Yeah, doing pretty good. You can throw your scariest blue magic at me, friend. I'm not scared. Oh god, I was just kidding. Didn't even break a sweat, he said, wiping away his flop sweat. I'm thinking we keep the Flare Sword train rolling. But, yeah, back-to-back Earthshakers is pretty scary. Just kidding, I almost had you, didn't I? Mystic Knights are proving to be quite adept at damage racing. Big Smooch, directly into Big Frog. You know, why don't Mystic Knights get Toad Sword? That's a bizarre one. Waiter, maiden kisses for the table, please. Flare Sword with Hermes Sandals, yeah, even in the back row that damage is just fine. One more Rift boss defeated. Twintania is always a little bit of a problem. I snagged exactly 1 coral ring in the caves on the way here, so that's going on somebody. Twintania is super weak to Holy, so Holy Sword, it's your time to shine. Yup, there's the tidal wave counters. This one's all up to you, Ferris. Oh, he's charging Giga Flare? It's over! It's never been more over! For him. Holy can cause instant death with Spellblade if the target's weak to it, and not heavy. Twintania loses the heavy flag when he's charging Giga Flare. Look it up. It's in a book. Reading Rainbow Bridge, let's go, baby. The Crystal Dimension. Victory is on the cusp. Taste my Flare Sword, Gilgamesh. Oh yeah, you know, the exit's that way. See you later. The Crystal Dimension has screams echoing all around me. Oh, it's my old nemesis, the Necrophobe. Surely Breakblade will work, right? Surely. Oh yeah, you'll love to see it. Instantly killed 3 of the barriers. Exactly 1 spell got off before I killed the final one. Breakblade's no good for Necrophobe, but he's weak to every element. Firaga sounds pretty good to me. Gotta cure this blind first, though. Oh, Mystic Knight's maybe not as tanky as I initially thought. But that damage output is absolutely unhinged, which is one of my favorite movies, by the way. Love me a good Fat Russell Crowe film. Before you know it, Gilgamesh appears on the scene. Just gotta Searing Slash Necrophobe a little more and we're done here. Exploder! Dead. That's the final save point unlocked. All that's left is to crush X-Death into a fine paste. I'm a very lowly level 41, but surely Mystic Knight can break the level 42 record. Oh my god, no, not the power of the void! Good thing my dads are all here to show you what's what. And Zaza's here, and a werewolf man. Take that, power of the void, nothing to the power of dead dads. X-Death, it's time to feel the power of my spell sword after I run away to save, of course. X-Death doesn't have a real elemental weakness to exploit, so it's back to Flare Sword. Worked really well throughout the rest of the Rift, gotta keep working now. The dual Aegis shield helps a lot here for sure. White holes are only killing and not petrifying and killing. X-Death's really got it out for my man Bartz, getting Holy and White Hole smashed. Hasted Flare Sword is really doing a ton of damage, but okay, so yeah, this first attempt went very badly. I knocked him down into his meteor spamming phase very quick, and then he, of course, spammed meteor. Who could have predicted this? Somehow, some way, I managed to get into the Neo X-Death phase with everyone alive, but just barely. 3 rips on the magic lamp, and bye-bye lady in the back, bother me no longer. My health is so low, and yep, here's Almagust. Dude, double whiff on the Aegis shielders, you just love to see it. I gotta stabilize, I gotta get everyone up and healthy once again. Oh my god, seriously, are you joking? One-shotted by Vacuum Wave? That's a big yikes. That first Grand Cross is also pretty bad. Lena blocked it, but old is just terrible. I can deal with Petrify and Blind though. Get me through these lamp charges, man. I need Earthwall, and I need it now. One-shotted again with physical attacks. Golem, get in here, man. Make yourself useful. Almagust was survived, and with Earthwall finally on, I'm somewhat stable. Just gotta take out the biggest threat, which after getting one-shotted so much is that big beefy guy at the top. Flare Sword is tearing through him, but he has like 60,000 max HP to cut through. Oh boy, Earthwall is gone, and Bartz is back to getting one-shotted with Vacuum Wave. I really need that big beefy guy gone, and fast. I survived another Almagust, but I'm on the back foot and I need to heal up. I got everyone back up, and I finally managed to take out the top part. All I have to do now is maintain my health and distribute my damage evenly to kill both parts at the same time. Gotta love when Bartz, after a Grand Cross, got secretly olded. You really can't tell with Mystic Knight, man. Having two people that are elderly means my damage output is ruined. Cryo got killed by Almagust, which is actually kinda great, because now she's got some damage dealing capabilities now that she's no longer old. How that works, I don't know, but it just works. Almagust, Grand Cross. I'm weathering all of them, but I'm getting worn down on items. I just have to maintain the count and not flub it. Gee, you'll never guess what happened. I killed the front part, and then a barrage of physicals and the back part managed to survive. Meteor ended up wiping most of my team, and Bartz just couldn't finish it off. He was just an old man after all. A very long attempt, completely for nothing. I'm positive that at this point I could soldier through it and beat Neo Exdeath, but I'm gonna take the path of least resistance. I'm grinding. I started off trying to grind on Sword Dancers in the castle for chances at a rare Enhancer Sword to upgrade my damage again, but I had no such luck. I even left the Rift and tried grinding on Stingrays for the rare Runeblade Steel. Again, no luck. During the Stingray grind, I did what I really, desperately did not want to do, which is power up the Chicken Knife. After that grind session and Chicken Knife powering up, I returned to Phantom Village, restocked on items, and returned to the bottom of the Rift for round 2. I was a much higher level 47 this time around. I love leaving the Rift, because you get to watch that heroic cutscene with your dads all over again. Round 2 for Exdeath, I've got your number. Flare Sword, show me your true power. That was a very painless first phase. Flare Sword Chicken Knife is unbelievably strong. Who could have predicted this? At least when it hits. Whiffing sucks. Neo Exdeath has the standard opening, ripping the lamp down to Odin first. I'm also not going to mess around this time. Lamp charges straight down to Golem. Bartz is going to slug the Cape Crusader over here for over 7,000 damage a hit. Yeah, that guy's on borrowed time. Golem finally emerges from the lamp, and then Almagust and Grand Cross are mostly whiffs. Listen, an elderly Lena is annoying, but acceptable. Now I must resort to my old friend, a pen and paper. I'm not messing around on Neo Exdeath this time. Beat me once, shame on me. But beat me twice? No thank you, not gonna happen. I am keeping meticulous track of how much HP each part has after every single attack. Is pausing constantly fun? Not in the slightest, but I'm not gonna lose a second time, okay? Especially when Grand Cross and Almagust are still surprisingly lethal. I'll spare you an incredibly lengthy fight with a lot, and I mean a lot of pausing and using a calculator and scribbling down numbers. A Grand Cross went off, I healed it, and then I smashed the front part. Exdeath showed mercy on me, and I only ate a Comet. Then Bart slugged the back part, which was now in the front row for over 7,000 damage, killing it. I've won. That's Final Fantasy V completed using the power of the Mystic Knight and their wacky sword enchantments. Final Fantasy V with Mystic Knights was completed at level 47 in 14 hours, 16 minutes, and 46 seconds. Mystic Knight was definitely on the path to setting the level and potentially speed records, but fell just short of the finish line. Could I have done it at level 41? Yeah, probably, but that Neo Exdeath attempt was very, very long, and losing was especially annoying. This was after a very long play session, and I really wanted to finish strong, but I didn't. I chose to hedge my bets and come back 6 levels higher with a powered-up Chicken Knife to absolutely obliterate Exdeath. Really should have just whipped out the pen and paper as soon as I iced the big beefy guy. Could have avoided like 3 hours of grinding everything. Gonna have to remember the pen and paper strategy for next time. There's gonna be some jobs that have some terrible damage output moving forward. Mystic Knight is a cool but kind of a weird job. It's basically a hybrid of Black Mage and a slightly weaker Knight. Unlike a hybrid like Red Mage where you have pretty low tier spells and bad melee, you actually get access to the best of all worlds in Mystic Knight. You have the ability to exploit every single elemental weakness in the game, as well as some nice utility spells like Silence, Instant Death, Petrify, and Sleep. Not to mention Drain, my beloved. Unlike black magic spells which can miss, Spellblade always triggers, which is actually very useful for certain enemies. Mostly enemies with very high magic evasion. Doesn't matter if Petrify has a low chance to hit Necrophobe's barriers when it has a 100% chance to connect with Spellblade. While I did encounter resistance, Mystic Knight didn't really encounter any true walls. Most of the problems this playthrough were my own tomfoolery and, for whatever reason, unwillingness to grind. Mystic Knight is probably one of the better general-purpose jobs casually. It's definitely one of the better choices for very specific fights though. Having access to both strong elemental and decent physicals made most of the game a breeze. Unfortunately, Mystic Knight does suffer from a lack of gear choices. Once Knight Swords enter the game, regular swords basically just disappear and there's only 2 daggers better than air knives. Mystic Knight did very well, but what about its partner? That bizarre weirdo, the Time Mage. Why is he wearing a dunce cap? Is he stupid? You can find out next time on Backlog Buster Challenger. Thanks for watching and we'll see you then.